Hello world, this is Coding After Effects Back to Basics. In this tutorial I'll be going over how to use the number data type. I feel like I talk about data types a lot, but I never really go into details on data types. So in this video I'll be talking about the data type number and going into details on how the number data type works. In the past, I made videos talking about data types, but I never talked about them in details, the different properties of different data types. I got to plug in an older video whenever I have the chance to. So if you want to have a basic understanding of data types, check out my very first tutorial video, and that video holds a very special place in my heart, so check it out. As a tradition, anytime I talk about data types, I have to prove that this is that data type. In our case, the number data type. Type of returns the data type of a value. So if I type in a number, it will return the word number. So I'm going to type in 5 in front of type of, and I get the word number. So this is indeed a number data type. Let's change the data type for this number by putting quotes around this number. So I'm going to put double quotes around this and then turn it into a string. Now, anytime you surround a character with either a quote or a double quote, you will get a string. This is important to note as we will see why later. Just remember that if you have a number in quotes, then it is a string. Without quotes, it's a number. One of the basic things you can do with the number is basic arithmetic. You can add, subtract, multiply, divide numbers. It's time to take everybody back to grade school with the order operation. Arithmetic in expressions uses the order operation. So when using addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, what order we use it in will determine the value outcome. If we add 1 and let's see, 2 times 3, enter, we should get the number 7. But if I was to switch this multiplication sign around with the plus sign, we should get a different value. So this is going to be plus and multiplication. So just like in the rules of operations back in grade school, it's going to look for the multiplication and division first, and then it's going to add or subtract second, going from left to right. So 1 times 2 will be executed first this time, so that should give us 2. And from there, it's going to add 2 plus 3, which will give us 5. As seen, changing addition in the multiplication signs around changes the outcome. So when using arithmetic with the multiplication sign or division sign, just remember that order is going to matter. You might be wondering what about parentheses in the order of operation? Well, guess what? You can use parentheses too. I will do this. I will do 1 plus 2. I know I'm keeping this simple, so you don't have to really think that hard. And in parentheses, no, before I even do that, times 4 minus 3. So just like before, it's gonna multiply 2 and 4, and then it's going to add 1 to that, and then subtract that number by 3. So 2 times 4 is going to give us 8, plus 1 is going to give us 9, and if you subtract 9 by 3, you should get 6. So The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the parentheses around the 4 and the 3. So just like in grade school, the first thing that After Effects is going to look for is the parentheses in this equation. So 4 minus 3 is going to give us 1, and then it's going to look for the multiplication. So 2 times 1 is going to give us 2, and 1 plus 2 is going to give us 3. And once I push enter, we get 3. So remember, parentheses, if you're going to add that on there, those is going to get executed first. And just like the rules of order of operations in school, this works just the same in that After Effects expression. There will be times where you have to convert a number to a string. And one of the ways you can do that is by using the toString method. Now, if I go inside my expression, I'm going to use type of again, and in parentheses, any type of number, type it in 6 dot to string with the S capitalized, and push enter in a number pad, and I get string in my composition. So usually you wouldn't use this method unless the number's in a variable. So another way of converting a number to a string is by adding a number to a string. I'm going to use type of and add 5 with an empty string and return it as a string. So 5, well, uh, can't type. Sorry about that. And I want to put parentheses over this, because if I don't, type of is just going to look at the 5 and it's going to return a number, which we don't want. So push enter on a number pad and I get string. So next, I want to show you what happens when you actually add a number with a string that has a value in it. So I'm going to put 5 in there again. If you try to add 5 in the string 5, what do you think you would get? I'll give you a second, and time's over. You get 55. I know you're thinking, what happened here? In this situation, 5 is not being treated like a number, so this is not really going to add 5 with 5, but instead connect two strings together. I can make this a little bit more clear of what's going on by using words. So if I get rid of that 5 and add a space inside of that double quote and type in After Effects, I get 5 After Effects. Now, some of you are probably going to experiment or try to be funny and use signs that is not the addition sign with the number and string. So what will happen if I try to subtract or divide, multiply 5 with After Effects? What do you think would happen? I get NaN, which stands for not a number. So anytime you try to do anything beyond addition, you're going to get not a number as your value. On a side note, dividing 0 can be a little bit weird. Anything you do with 0 as far as division can give you some weird results. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, 0 works like it usually do. So I'm going to type in 0 divided by whatever number I land on, 7, and I get 0. Nothing strange about that. That's what you usually get anytime you would divide in grade school. But what would happen if I switch the 7 around with 0? I get infinity. Now, infinity is the biggest number you can actually get in expression. So if I have to type in type of again, oops, oh, didn't mean to do it right there, but I meant to type in infinity. I get a number. So what will happen if I try to divide 0 with 0? Uh, I get not a number. This is just something to be aware of anytime you're using 0. It's not really a big deal, but this could cause error in your program if you're not aware of it. And before I end this tutorial, I did show something different in the intro. I just wanted to show you how to get that little effect I was doing. So I'm going to create a null object, call it control. And in control, I'm going to go up here to effects, slider control, and I'm going to go down to my source text, alt click, oops, alt click on the stopwatch, var slider. Um, this is going to give me undefined. Uh, come on, what are you doing? Slider. Go back to here. Lock this effect. Now go back to here. Space equal pick whip. Slider. First, let me put in math. And math is one of the methods you can use with numbers. So in this case, I'm using floor, which is going to round down the nearest whole number. A slider. So if I click on this arrow and move this back and forth, there's the effect that you see in the intro. Just did that for completion. So that's all for number data types. I will tackle string data types next. For those who watched my previous video, don't worry, I didn't forget about you, and I will be making an if statement part 2 video next. That's all I have. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed this one, check out my older videos for more tutorials on expressions and SN script. Until the next time, peace out, world.